I'm not sure YouTube cuts out the first few seconds of a live stream for some reason, even though it says it's live. But this is John Boy from West Tennessee, the old hillbilly. And man, let me tell y'all something. I was on this Bigfoot Society live stream telling my stories 2 weeks ago. And then last week, Saturday night, I got back on that Bigfoot Society live stream again. And I just told it wasn't anything I saw, but I talked about how I figured out these Bigfoots were communicating, right? Well, and then I told the story about whatever it was that I chased up my driveway. Well, I was talking to my neighbor last night. This is about the skinwalker. And I told him, I was like, yeah, I was talking to somebody's doing a book on it and doing a documentary. And he's like, well, you remember the one I saw? And I forgot all about it, man. And I mean, he didn't see it in great detail, but what he saw wasn't anything he'd ever saw. And it looked like what I described to him. And he'd seen that like 2 months before I'd seen it. And then he goes, well, don't forget about, I don't know if I should mention his name, but, and I won't. And I go, oh man, I forgot about that. But my problem is I haven't talked to the actual source, but this is hearing the story from a third party. And what I've come to understand right now is the third person that has seen this skinwalker lives about a mile as the crow flies through the woods and across the creek from me. Right? So this is all triangulated in one area right here. And I'm going to try to do an interview with the dude. Bang, bang. I tried to call you last night. Um, it rang and rang and rang. You just didn't answer. It didn't go to voicemail. But anyhow, he was out, I don't know, just scoping out for a deer or something. Because there's thousands and thousands of acres of farmland and woods. You know what I mean? It's a combination of both. You'll have patches of over 500 acres or more of woods. Then you'll have fields and woods and there's so many creeks that run through my area. But yeah, um, he saw something and he cannot figure out what he it's hard to describe what it is. I mean, if you could imagine a mangy, sick mountain lion or a greyhound or a sick deer, or, I mean, it's a combination of everything, and it's got legs. The back legs bend so weird. But that picture on the thumbnail of this live stream is the closest thing I could find to what I actually saw. But it didn't have as much hair. I mean, if it had any, I mean, I didn't really see it. But it looked, except for the one I saw, had bigger eye sockets than the one that's on the thumbnail. But yeah, these things evidently, and I never, okay. In 1979, I saw a Bigfoot, right? Well, I got ridiculed and everything. I mean, I saw it. I will die believing in what I saw, and what I saw was something massive. I mean, if you could take a human shape or a gorilla shape and put the mass of a Brahma bull in that shape, that's how big this thing was. I mean, it had to be over 1,000 pounds. Josh Odom. Yeah. And that changed me, man. I mean, from that point on, reality is not what they tell you it is because they say these things don't exist. So then you got all these Bigfoot skeptics like, yeah, you're crazy. Well, I used to do that with these skinwalker people. I'm like, all right, they need a new monster to sit here and. And then I ran across what I chased up my drive. I mean, I was so close, I could have touched it at one point. And I had to stop running after. I mean, I chased this thing for like, I don't know, a good 60 feet or more. I mean, it traveled over, how can I explain this? I chased it for 60 feet, but that thing had run like, when I first saw it, it was like 60 feet away from me, but it thought it was going to run away. And the way it ran, it kind of funneled itself into my driveway, and I just beelined because I knew where it was going to come out. And I wound up right behind it. You know what I mean? I had 20,000 candle watts of spotlight on this thing, and I'm 5 foot behind it. At the closest point, that's when it came out in between my car. And it was making, it was hauling butt, and I was trying to keep up with it. And it left these weird, like if you took your fingers and did like that, that's the kind of marks it left in the driveway. But that thing, man, I don't know what it was. I've never seen anything like it. I still, and I started after talking to this girl that's doing a book on skinwalkers, because she had an encounter with one on a road one time, and it changed her whole life. But what I saw that night, I was doing a live stream. I was in the middle of a live stream, and my dog alerted me to something in the backyard, and I snuck around. That's how I wound up. I told my story on Bigfoot Society last Saturday. So, but anyhow, I'm fixing this. The sky's doing whatever it's doing, right? I'm fixing to just start focusing on what's on the ground, man. Because this is the season, this is the time of year that they get vocal, and I don't know why. I don't know if it's like rutting season. I don't know what the deal is about April, May that makes them. I don't know if they're just, they're it's that time of year, and they're, what do you call it, migrating back, or I don't know what the deal is. I don't know why this is the time of year around here. But I'm about to set up a parabolic, uh, one of them dish microphones. I've talked to my neighbor next door because he's had, not the visual encounters, but look, we got him out here. Matter of fact, last night one of them imitated my dog, man. Yeah, it was real dusk. It was after sunset. It was real dusk, and Ouija that's my dog. Ouija was acting kind of weird, and she kind of did a little bark up in the woods, and then the neighbor's dog behind me kind of did a little bark. And then something in between that dog and me imitated Ouija's bark. I'm like, yep. Because they imitate the owls around here. No, I ain't got any camera. Well, I have had cameras set up, but back then, that was before the screens and stuff, and I never caught anything. But I did find, I guess you'd call it more impressions in the grass and leaves of where something had stepped, and I documented that. That's on my channel. But there was like 5 feet in between each step, and I put the tape measure down and everything. These footprints were 14 inches long, like 8 inches wide, and like I said, it was 5 foot between the steps, and I saw 3 footprints, and it was, like I said, in the grass, leaves kind of deal. So that's why I documented it, because that's not going to last too long. But it was up at the point where the thing screamed during my live stream. So I know they come, and it's a ridge line kind of above me. So I don't know, guys. I was just gonna get on here and tell y'all I'm fixing to start investigating this cryptic stuff, because I know what I've seen over my whole life, and what I've seen is not supposed to exist. But I know I physically seen it before me. I can still see it in my mind. Everything I've ever seen is still in my mind as if I saw it. yesterday. Aaron, uh, what do you mean find me? I'm right here on John Boy's YouTube channel. Or if you're talking about location, I'm in West Tennessee, south of Jackson, Tennessee. If I don't know if that's what you're looking for, but you can find me. You can leave a comment on videos or something. But yeah, I ain't lying, man. I'm fixing this afternoon. I'm gonna stop by that dude's house because I have not. I don't know how long it's been. It's been a couple of years, and I believe I forgot all about it. I can't believe I forgot Perry saw that. Oh, I said his name. Sorry. Slip of the tongue. But man, y'all, this world is crazy, and there's all sorts of stuff that's unexplained. Yesterday, matter of fact, I put a short up. These crows were going crazy, right? And usually, and from my experience, when these crows start doing weird stuff, that's when you're going to see some of this cryptic stuff, right? So I'm sitting there, and I started videoing them, but they were. I was in the middle of the woods, and they were flying over, but they were going across the street from me, and there's a bunch of them over there just wah, 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 just making a bunch of noise. And I'm like, what is going on? So I come out of the woods and got to my driveway and went up the driveway to the road. And about the time I was looking, I already had the camera ready to hit, record. But about the time I could get to where I could see where those crows were, here comes this big, I guess it was a golden eagle, man. But crows will run off hawks, owls, and stuff. Any kind of predatorial bird, they will run them off. But they don't really run off buzzards. I mean, they'll chase at them, but a buzzard ain't going after, the crow's nest. So, anyhow, man, this big old bird come out from around a treetop, and there's like three daggum crows right on its tail. And I hit that play, and I'm like, and that daggum big old eagle saw me and veered. It was about to go right over me, and that thing veered. And I mean, it's the last short I uploaded. If anybody wants to see that, but I tried taking screenshots. That's that has to be an eagle. It was bigger than any hawk I'd ever seen, man. And there's eagles. They couldn't be three-quarters of miles of crow flies from me. I have seen two eagles. I don't know if they're mating or what, or playing, but they were in the treetops and they'd fall down together to the ground. They'd run on the ground, jump back up in the treetops. They were chasing each other. Oh, it's the weirdest thing. And by the time I got my camera going, they were gone. Just my luck. But yeah, so I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of crazy stuff up there in the sky I'm still seeing with my eyes right now, but I'm not going to waste any more memory on it, my phone memory. Because I've got over about 108 gigabytes of videos on this phone. And I just downloaded 32 gigabytes of photos and videos, 2 weeks ago? That's crazy. I got too much footage, and it's all clouds. But look, guys, I'm fixing to get in here and go to work. I will be getting an interview with Perry. But y'all have a good day. I'm gonna try.